test. Sound test, 1, 2. Hey, what's up, man? Welcome for Reddit. I feel like I didn't get a lot of Reddit traffic here today, unfortunately, but glad you made it. Man? Welcome for Reddit. I feel like I didn't get a lot of Reddit traffic here today, unfortunately, but glad you made it. Man? Welcome for Reddit. I feel like I. What up, Jacob? Welcome to the stream. Here today, unfortunately, but glad you made it. How's it going? I'm actually, oh, Yitter, what's up, man? Good to see you. It's been a minute. Welcome to the stream. Let me know if the audio and the music sound okay. I can, still messing around with it, so I'm happy to turn either one up or down. Yeah, Jacob, anything, honestly. Mainly doing this for, last minute waiver wire pickup advice, but I'm a very, very small streamer, so ask any fantasy questions you want. It's an open forum. Music is a little okay. Oh no, it's all good here. I don't want to be shouting at you guys. I'll turn it down a little bit. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, it's hard to kind of mess around with this. I can't really tell what's going on. All right, Jacob, let's see. Should I give up Henry for Tyreek Hill and Melvin Gordon? I have Gurley, Hunt, Taylor, and Johnson at running back. Galladay, Chark, and Jefferson, a wide receiver. I'm probably, Estelle, what's up, man? Glad you made it. So that's, I mean, what's your record right now, Jacob? Unless you're like 0-7, it seems like you have some good players, and I'd be kind of surprised if you didn't still have a shot at it. Otherwise, Galladay, Chark, and Jefferson. Honestly, I would keep Henry. I mean, Tyreek is obviously a top-tier wide receiver, but I feel like, the possibility for Henry to put up 30 plus is way more than Tyreek. I think you should keep him, and I think you'll have a lot of options to be able to pick up some good wide receivers. Tyreek is good, but I feel like he's more, somewhere in the teen range for points every week, so I would probably keep Henry. 1 to 3 pretty sealed, 4th is up the grab. It's 4. Okay. Okay. I mean, I think honestly, Derrick Henry is you need him to probably try and get you into the playoffs. I would go for that. What up, Luke? How's it going? Bars in the tuck. Thank you. Are you a Colts fan as well? Luke, nice 6-1. That's what I like to hear. Ambi, drop kicker, coup for Blankenship for the rest of the season. I like Rodrigo a lot. Obviously you can see that I'm a Colts fan. But he was a top, 3 kicker going into his bye, and the offense is good, but not good enough so that I think he's gonna get a lot of opportunities at those 30 to 50 plus range yard field goals. So I know honestly Koo is a really great kicker, but we saw this week that Atlanta's game script can really affect him. So I think I like Rodrigo a lot better for the rest of the season. But yeah, Jacob, don't give up. I keep Henry, honestly. See what we can do with him. I think he's your best chance to get you into the playoffs because you're going to need those big home run, the big hitters on your lineup. And you have a really good wide receiver core already, so I would stick with that. Barr says, should I trade DJ Moore and Mike Davis for Fulgham, Devontae Parker, and Montgomery? If you don't mind posting, what's the rest of your lineup like? Off the top of my head, I like it just because Mike Davis honestly might not be relevant anymore after this week. It sounds like there's a good chance Christian McCaffrey comes back. So I kind of like that for you. I think Mike Davis is still going to have value, but not as much as he does now. So yeah, again, it depends on the rest of your team. I'm starting to like DJ Moore a lot, which is the only part that I'm hesitant about. But you're getting 2 solid wide receivers back plus a starting running back, so I don't think that's too bad for you. Yetter says I have Devontae Adams, who's an auto start exactly. But who do you think I should start? Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Juju, or Justin Jefferson for wide receiver 2? All right, so let's look at those matchups this week. So between DJ Moore and Anderson, I like DJ Moore a little bit more. I think I like him more. I think he seems to be a little bit more involved in the offense recently. So I think he's the more talented. Honestly, you can't really go wrong with either. Bridgewater's been using both, but I kind of like Moore a little bit. I think they're going to get a little creative with how they use him. As for the rest, oh yeah, so we talked about this earlier. So Justin Jefferson versus Juju. So let's see. So I think from what I saw, I want to say Jair Alexander's probably going to be shadowing, most likely shadowing Adam Thielen. So let's go with Justin Jefferson here. Juju hasn't done enough for me to really trust him 100% just yet. So, yeah, I like Justin Jefferson a little bit more. So, yeah, I would say DJ Moore and Justin Jefferson. Even though DJ Moore and Anderson are pretty back-to-back, I mean, if you want to get really, really ballsy with it, you can go DJ Moore and Anderson because I like them both a lot. But I don't trust Juju just yet. What's up, Richard? How you doing, man? Tao. Let me know how you pronounce your name. I don't know if it's Tao. Let me know. I don't want to keep on butchering it, especially since you keep on coming back. Should I drop Jamal Williams to pick up Carlos Hyde? Not yet. Carlos Hyde is injured, and I think it's a soft tissue injury, which means most likely it's gonna be a couple of weeks. It's tough because waivers are tonight, but I would also keep an eye out on Aaron Jones. The good thing about Jamal Williams is that he still has a lot of value even when Jones is playing. So I would probably keep Williams for now. Bar, so let's go back to your question before. So you have Henry, Gibson, Gaskin, Fournette, awesome, and Montgomery. Wide receivers, Chark, McLaurin, AB, Debo, Dez. Oh, nice, you got Dez, that's awesome. Plus Fulgham and Devonta. So I don't think that's bad because what is it? Once you trade away DJ Moore, you're still gonna have Chark, McLaurin. So I think you're okay there. I would do that. Again, Mike Davis there's a good chance he's not relevant after this week anymore, or even starting this week. So I think you go for it. Ambi Ven, what's up? Let's see. Drop Alshon for Rashard, Higgins, or Shepard or Aguilar. Need a spot start for this week. If you can, I don't remember. I feel like we talked about this before, but I don't remember. Alshon, I think you want to try and hold potentially. Otherwise, any of those are good. I lean towards probably Higgins or Aguilar. Higgins honestly has a really. I looked at the matchup when I did my when I was doing my research before I put out my video, and I'm pretty sure he has a really favorable matchup over the next 4 weeks. So I like the Higgins start. Miles, what's up, man? Drop Debo for AJ Green. What's the rest of your team like? Because if you're pretty deep at wide receiver, I would say you can probably drop Debo for AJ. AJ seems like he's finally having a resurgence this year, so I kind of trust him. I don't know if he's my top wide receiver on that team or even top 2, but it looks like he's been getting a lot of targets, so I think he's a safe play. But Miles, you should check out my video this week if you haven't looked at it yet. I have a lot of wide receiver options that I really like that I think I would rank a little bit over AJ Green anyway, so check that out and let me know if any questions about it. Tao is Gucci. Awesome. Perfect. Drop Singletary from Mostert. I would. If you don't need a running back and you have a few people starting, I would stash Mostert instead of Singletary. I don't like Singletary this year. I don't like what I've seen. Who should I flex, Claypool or Jamal Williams? That's a tough one for this week. Again, I would really keep an eye out for what's going on with Aaron Jones. But otherwise, let me just see. It's a toss-up. I would say if Aaron Jones is playing, you got to go chase Claypool for the higher upside for sure. Browns fan, what's up? I'm adding Ansem in the free spot. I'm trading Claypool and Gio for. I love that, Browns fan. So Edmonds is going to be a good rental for a few weeks. I still think he's going to have value once Drake comes back. So that's going to be a good play for you, and you're upgrading. I mean, Claypool, if the Jonathan Taylor owner will take it, give Claypool and Gio up right away because I think Mixon's going to be back after their bye. Yeah, Richard, I know we said that. Who are the 2 running backs who started? Out of curiosity, Bars, no problem at all. Yitters. So let's see. Should I trade DJ Moore, Justin Jackson, and Juju for James Robinson? I have Eckler, Zeke, Singletary. I'm trying to pick up Hasty right now. That's not. I know we talked about this a lot, but if you're okay at wide receiver, I mean, I was saying before, I really like DJ Moore, and I think he's trending up. So that's the only reason I'm a little hesitant. But James Robinson is a really good back, and I think he's still a little undervalued by most people. I would definitely go James Robinson. I like that trade a lot for you if you can hold it down. Berg, what's up, man? Oh, thanks for coming back. Good to see you again. Browns fan, should I start Teddy Bridgewater or Matt Ryan? Let me look at my So I have them honestly on. I have them on my same tier, like tier 3, end of tier 2, high tier 3 for both of those for them. Let me just double check their matchup. So, they're actually playing each other. I actually kind of like Bridgewater a little bit more. I still think the offensive either the offensive coordinator or the coach, whoever's controlling that, is the limiting factor for Matt Ryan. So maybe Teddy Bridgewater, I would go. ISO, what's up, man? Rojo or Deontay Johnson for flex this week? I don't know if check to see what's going on. I don't know that Deontay Johnson's gonna be healthy unless something else came out recently. But I would go Rojo probably if you might have to if Deontay Johnson's not actually healthy. A Roseco, trade in Calvin Ridley, David Johnson maybe? Dolphins D. Okay, so you're getting Calvin Ridley, David Johnson, Dolphins D, trade out Robert Woods, Josh Jacobs, Baltimore D. That's not bad. Depends on who the Johnson is. If you need a running back, I think David Johnson is good. Obviously, you're giving up a really good D, but I like that, actually. You're getting better at both. Well, you're getting better at wide receiver and sort of equal at the running back position. So if you can't get Calvin Ridley, I think he still finishes top 5 this year. I think that's good. Tao, yeah, I agree. He could have a tough matchup, but he's still a really good running back. And, I'd be shocked if Jacksonville were held to, less than 10 points. So I still think he's a big factor in there. A Roseco, 0.5 PPR. Let's see. I'm a little bit behind on my, let's see, Fulgham. Sorry, I know you just gave me your lineup. I'm trying to figure out if it was into something. Oh, okay. So it was for your trade question. I gotcha. So you're getting Calvin and David Johnson, and you're giving away Robert Woods and Josh Jacobs. So you would be upgrading at wide receiver because you have Woods, Fulgham. So for sure you need that. You need Calvin Ridley and Josh Jacobs. I like the trade. I still think if you can get Calvin Ridley, that's a top tier wide receiver. I think you should do it. Browns fan, I was able to make the trade for Taylor before last week's games, and the trade didn't go until today, so it's nice. Okay, that's awesome. Good job. I mean, that's huge for you. Burke, I picked up Damian Harris off the waivers when someone dropped him and traded Newton and him for Matt Ryan. As much as I want to believe parts aren't true. Exactly. I mean, honestly, Belichick already said that that Cam Newton's going to be the quarterback again. And I think when you have Cam in, you can't trust any of those running backs. So I really don't. That's one guy that I have not liked at all for a really long time. So good for you for getting rid of him. Browns fan, DJ Moore or Tyler Boyd? Let's look at the ranking list. So, Boyd, I would go DJ Moore between the two. I like the matchup a little bit better, and I really like what I saw from him last week, so I would go DJ Moore over Tyler Boyd. Is Rojo a trade target, or did Fournette take? See, that's a tough backfield. I still think it's Rojo's backfield. I did say last week that Rojo is a good sell high target. I don't know that that's a case anymore, but that backfield is a little messy. I don't quite want to touch it because I think who ends up getting more touches is going to depend on the game script a lot. And if the Bucs are up frequently, it might just be the Fournette show over Ronald Johnson. Burke says he likes Boyd. I mean, yeah, Boyd has been playing well too. I just really like what I saw in DJ Moore. I think it could go either way. I have Moore ranked a little bit higher than Tyler Boyd, but I don't think he can go wrong with either. ISO only, is Jalen Reagor a good scoop off of waivers? Can Alshon be that guy for? Yeah, so I've got a lot of questions about the Eagles this week. Anyone could be a good stash if on that team, so Alshon or Reagor, I think they can all be really good stashes if you have the spot. I don't love that there's so many mouths to feed there, and some of these guys have the injury history that they do. So if you have the spot, I would, but if you have time, go check out my waiver my waiver wire video for this week, I have a lot of good options in there for wide receivers that could be, you know, better, more solid, constant play for you over the next few weeks. But Reagor isn't a bad stash. But you know, I just think with Alshon coming back, Goddard coming back, Sanders coming back as well, there's gonna be a lot of mouths to feed. Let's see, Carr or Teddy this week. Let me look at the list again. I have Teddy a little bit higher than Carr this week. Although it seems like, honestly, Derek Carr is one of the guys I talked about in my video. I think he's going to be a solid start with like a high teens to low 20s floor every week. So I don't think you go wrong with either. If you want the higher ceiling, I would go Derek Carr for sure. What up, Clinical? That's my boy. Burke, I got offered Thielen and Chubb for J-Up. Ooh. I like the decline there. J-Rob is a main back, granted on a not as good offense, but he's still producing. I mean, Diggs is just really, really good. So they both have less competition than both Thielen and Chubb. So I think you made the right move to decline it. Browns fan, the other receivers I'm starting are Diggs, AJ Brown, and I'm assuming I start them. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Diggs and AJ Brown at this point are pretty much must starts. Sounds good, Yitter. See you in a bit. How would you value Antonio Brown? So I'm actually really intrigued to see what he does on that team. I picked him up in all of my leagues pretty much the day that I heard the news. But Godwin's injured, and he's getting like finger surgery, so he's gonna be gone at least a week. I don't know how long it takes to heal from finger surgery, but he's going to be gone. So I think Mike Evans is going to draw a lot of attention. I kind of imagine Antonio Brown as like, we start the first few weeks as maybe like a solid like 7 to 10 point kind of guy. But I think he's got a lot of upside, you know. The one guy I kind of compared him to was Josh Gordon, and I think Josh Gordon did okay when he joined the Seahawks last year, but I like Antonio Brown a lot better as a wide receiver. So if you have him to stash, I think it's great. You can always try and use him as a trade bait now because his value is probably the highest in case he is sort of a bust or nothing works out. But you know, I have the bench spot, so I'm keeping him, stashing him, and seeing what he can do. Burke, I offered Swift instead of J-Rob and Higgins instead of Diggs, but yeah. Yeah, fair. That's fair. I mean, it's tough. You know, the one that you rejected is definitely, you know, my top tier players for your top tier players, and I mean, that's a smart move to switch those out. See what happens, but that's tough when two owners are talking about literally their best players to try and trade out. Oh, Burke, yeah, I'm not a doctor either, but I think you would need fingers to catch balls. But I mean, I guess JPP, he's a lineman, but he plays without a finger, so maybe. All right, Jaden, what's up, man? Should I trade Aaron Jones and Travis Fulgham for Derrick Henry? If you can, I like that, especially if you have a decent wide receiver depth. I talked a little bit on Reddit today, and I actually gave a really unpopular opinion that I think Fulgham is a good sell high candidate right now. He's been balling out and been getting a lot of targets. I'm still very worried about the fact that there's so many players coming back all at once for the Eagles that he may not be relevant anymore. Aaron Jones is a monster, right? But Derrick Henry, he's maybe the top back in fantasy right now. So if you can't do that, I would do that. Xavier, what's up? Which one of the three, Hyde, Hasty, or Joshua Kelly, can I plug in the starting lineup this week? I think you need to monitor the status of what's going on. If Hyde is able to play him starting, you start him. Otherwise, I would go Josh Kelly. I think that backfield is still a little bit split between him and Justin Jackson. But he has opportunity to potentially get a touchdown. I don't like that 49ers backfield at all. I mentioned in my waiver wire pickup that I actually kind of like Coleman, Tevin Coleman, if he comes back this week and plays. So, Yeah, I would say keep an eye out for the injury update, but I would say Hyde if he's starting, then Josh Kelly, and then Hasty. Burke, yeah, I know, right? Catching fireworks, exactly. Tao, what is Clyde Edwards-Helaire's trade value? It's not going to be, it dipped a little bit because of game strip last week and the fact that he kind of split carries with Le'Veon Bell. I'm still, on the CEH train. I still think he's going to be the main back. I don't really imagine Le'Veon Bell taking over completely. So honestly, right now it would probably be like a higher RB2 because anyone that you're going to trade with who saw the game or looks at the stats are going to be like, well, hey, he's not going to be worth as much anymore because Le'Veon Bell is in the mix and they split the same number of carries. But this is not the week to sell him. Browns fan, do you think Zeke will bounce back to the Gaussling in the run, or it depends on their quarterback? If Dalton is there, I think he has a chance. Because right now, if it's Danucci, right, the third string quarterback, if he's playing, I think defenses are going to be stacking the box more against Zeke, and if he's going to have a hard time running, especially with that O-line. But if Dalton is back, I have a little bit of faith. It's still Zeke. He's not going to just become irrelevant, but a lot of things have to go well for him to get back to that RB1 top tier status. Jaden, I'm undefeated as well, so I was thinking Henry would help because he gets better in the cold. Yeah, I mean, if you're undefeated and you can get Henry, like, you're doing something right and you're just making your team so much more better, so I would do that. Ambi, okay, thank you for watching the video. So, should I drop Tonyan for Rodgers, Bryant, Ebron, Engram? I don't feel comfortable with Tonyan since Adam eats all the time. Oh yeah, I actually saw your comment. I don't know if I responded to it, but it depends on if it's temporary, right? If it's not temporary, I would stay with Tonyan. He has somewhat of a low floor, like 4 to 5 points, but we also saw him get a bunch of touchdowns right before their bye. Rodgers is going to be like a 1 to 3 week rental at max. Bryant I don't like Ebron or Engram. So if you do drop it for one, I would say Bryant. But again, the top two guys here, they're both rentals. When Austin Hooper comes back, I don't think Harrison Bryant's going to be that relevant. I mean, no one really heard of him before this week. So I do like him better than David Njoku. But it really it depends. I kind of think maybe stick it out with Tonyan. I really like the guys that Aaron Rodgers just targets in general. So even with Devonta Adams there, at some point defenses are going to have to double cover him, and that might give Tonyan a little bit of wiggle room to score a couple of touchdowns. Nice, Orozco. So yeah, I would drop. I like Trey Vernon a lot, and honestly, I think most people have given up on Engram, which is rightfully so. He did get a lot of targets last week, but I don't think he's really producing, unless, I can check his stats, but I like Burton a lot, and I'm telling everyone to go pick him up because I think this is the last week to do it. Burke, I've got 46 FAB left. Waivers close at the end of. Okay, do I go all in or high for this week and rest of the season? I don't know that you go all in. I think you save some. I wonder. I don't. So I haven't actually played that type of waiver wire pickup. Can you get him for free once waiver closes this week, or once waiver closes tonight? Because that's how it works with standard is. Yep, exactly. But do you always have to bid on it every night to get somebody, or is there is Tuesday night the waiver night, and if he clears waivers, then you're okay and you can just get him for free? I don't know if I would trust Hyde with the injury right now, and I don't think Carson's gonna be out for that long, so I don't think you should go all in. I say wait and spend it on other players and kind of just sit tight on it. I know it's really antsy that you want to spend it, and week 11 is kind of sneak up on us, but I say you save. Ambi, who do you have at quarterback right now? Let's talk about the quarterback situation and see what we can do to get you a little bit stronger. Nice. Yeah, between those, I would probably pick Wentz or Carr. I like their upside a little bit more. I think I like Carr a little bit more, but you can't go wrong with either. But yeah, those are good options. I'm still bidding, but I doubt he goes through the waiver wire. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, MB, I mean, Big Ben isn't a bad choice, but I still like Wentz and Carr a little bit more. Teddy's going to be your safe play, but Carr, like I said, already has a pretty solid floor. So, I think flip a coin, see who you like better. Like, if you like one actually in real life better to cheer for. But Wentz and Carr, I don't think you can go bad. Like, I don't think you can make a bad choice. Yeah, Burke, I get it. I guess I don't know if I feel comfortable enough to say that Carlos Hyde is going to be relevant, because if he's really out for like 2 weeks, Carson might be back, and I guess it's a good handcuff to have. But if I were playing and I had $46 left, I would maybe want to save it in case a potential league winner is available. Yeah, I do need to look at the rest of the schedule. I don't have both of them pulled up. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think, if he has a good schedule, I think he's a good pickup. Derek Carr just put up close to 20 points against the Bucks, and that probably should be his toughest matchup of the season. So he can go either way. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's unless Carson's out for a long time, that's when you want to pick up Carlos Hyde as a safety. But like, I just feel like there's a good chance that they might come back at the same time, or there might be a week difference. So I don't think it's worth. Yeah, because I understand the concept and how it works, and once you run out of money, you run out of money. So let other people chase him. Let them waste your money and wait for someone a little bit bigger to really just use their money on. Looks like we got 12 viewers in here tonight. It's awesome. Yeah, I like Swift a lot. I think, with him, he's going to be taking more touches away from AP is my prediction. So I like Swift for sure. If I were the Lions, give the younger guy a little bit more opportunities, get more experience under his belt. Adrian Peterson's nice, but he's very close to the end of his career. So, that's what it is. Should I drop Mike Williams for Ayuk or Corey Davis? I would say probably Corey. You can. I really like Mike Williams, but he disappointed me this week, and he really didn't get that many looks. I think Corey Davis is probably your safer bet out of the two. Although I like Ayuk for the next 2 weeks while Deebo Samuels is out, his upside a little bit. But you can't really go wrong with Corey Davis. He gets a really decent amount of looks from Tannehill, and on top of the fact that they score a lot of points. So I would probably, if we're talking long-term, rest of the season, I would probably say Corey Davis and then Ayuk. But if you want to sort of try and hit a home run potentially, I really like what Ayuk's been doing. We don't know if Deebo Samuel is going to honestly stay healthy. We don't know how serious or how serious his injury is right now. But I like Corey Davis a lot. Yeah, and that's what I would have thought, right? But Keenan Allen got way more targets than Mike Williams this week. I was really surprised. So really, I think he's probably somewhat of a boom bust. I'm going to pull up the stats right now, but I think when I looked at it, because I was wondering why he didn't do well, I don't think he got a lot of targets. So if we look at their game against Jacksonville, so Herbert threw 3 TDs, threw almost 350 yards. Target-wise, he gave Keenan Allen 13 targets. And he gave Mike Williams only 3 targets. I don't know why, but 3 targets, that ranks behind Hunter Henry, Justin Jackson, Josh Kelly, so both running backs. And he tied with Jalen Guyton, who actually had more production out of that. So that's not a good look, and I'm okay dropping it at this point. Okay, so at least 2 weeks. That makes sense. So not great for him, but really good for Ayuk owners. So I like both. I think at least for now they're both startable. Yeah. How do you like to organize your waiver priority? So it depends on sort of the It depends on how high I have it and how much I really like the guys. A lot of times, if I know I want to get rid of somebody and I just want to use my waiver on somebody, I will just put in the same waiver. So let's say like I want to drop Joshua Kelly for Brandon Ayuk. I want to drop Joshua Kelly for Denzel Mims. I want to drop him for Corey Davis. So then I figure out of those three which one I like the best. But I rank those, and then one of them should go through if one of those guys gets picked up, especially if I'm on a later waiver wire. Otherwise, if I'm higher up, that's when I spread it out a little bit. But there's a little bit of strategy to it. But again, it all depends on your priority and what your actual needs are. If it's someone that you absolutely need to start, or if it's just somebody that like, hey, it's a good stash, I'm gonna ride him on the bench and see how he does. Davis, what's up, my man? Glad to see you in here. Not sure if I missed you answering it, but what are your thoughts on Lazard when he comes back? That's not a bad idea. I know that Rodgers really liked him, and he could be that second option to Devontae Adams once he gets back. I like Aaron Rodgers more than Derek Carr, and Ruggs seems like he still needs to work his way up the food chain. So if you need to, if you don't need to start Ruggs, and he's just a bench warmer right now, I think Lazard is a good pickup. And don't worry, you're late, man. It's all good. This is supposed to be flexible for everybody. Let me look up and see what his status is. Actually, I have no idea when he's supposed to be back. I know he's been out for Allen. Let's see. I know he's been out for a while. But I actually wonder when he's going to be back. I don't know. 3 weeks ago, NFL.com says he's out at least one more month after core muscle surgery, which means that he's probably going to be out for another 1 to 2 weeks. Gotcha. Okay, so he's starting rehab, so probably not going to be back for a few weeks. Honestly, he should be pretty under the radar for your league, unless it's a super competitive league where everyone's picking up, the third, fourth, fifth stringers on each team. So you might be able to get away with, holding onto Ruggs for another week, maybe 2, but you might be able to get away with holding Ruggs for this week just to see how he does, and maybe using him to trade for someone else, using him for a little bit of a trade bait. But otherwise, I don't think you need to pick him. I don't know if it's Lazard or Lazard, but I don't think you need to pick him up right away. So just keep an eye on him. Maybe put him on your watch list on whatever platform you're on, and scoop him up in a week, potentially 2, before the news comes out. But I just don't know that he's that big of a player that even if some news comes out, I don't think it's gonna get blown up. And yeah, so I think you're probably fine. Andy, Lutz or Blankenship for the rest of the season? I like Blankenship a lot. I think he's the way to go. I'm pretty sure the NFL's leading scorer. Like I mentioned earlier, the Colts offense is not good enough to be able to get into the end zone every single time. So he's going to have a lot of opportunities to kick from 30 plus yards, and he's a super accurate kicker. So I like Blankenship a lot more. Orozco, give up Chark and pick up T. Higgins, Christian Kirk, or Aguilar, or just, I think you hold on to Chark there. All of those guys that you mentioned here are great, but I don't know if they're that much better than Chark, assuming Chark is still healthy. So I would maybe keep Chark. I don't know if you're going to gain much more value by just dropping Chark off. Burke, I think it'd be a great move if you pull off a nice 2 run by packing Ruggs with somebody, and that's exactly my thought. Especially if Ruggs has a good game this week, package him with someone else to get maybe a solid RB2 or solid RB or wide receiver 2, depending on who the other person is, and then pick up Lazard. Ari, what's up? Good to see you in here. Glad you made it. For sure. T. Higgins, I've been talking about him for 3 weeks straight, so hopefully people have been picking him up. I think he's an every week starter until otherwise noticed. The only reason I don't value him above Chark is because Chark is that number 1 option, and it seems like he got, let's look, I still have the page of last week. He got Yeah, Chark is leading. I mean, he didn't do very well last week, it looks like. He only had, one reception for 26 yards, so that's bad. So obviously, not as good of an offensive team, but he's still going to get a lot of targets, whereas T. Higgins is going to be sharing it. So I guess at the end of the day, it depends on, do you trust the number one wide receiver option for the Jags, or, do you trust the sort of number 1B-ish option on the Bengals? But yeah, I agree with you there. I do think, I think Higgins is an every week start, and that kind of sucks that Chark didn't do very well last week. I didn't even notice that he did that poorly. Yep, I agree. So yeah, I guess Orozco, if you wanna, I don't know if you posted, man. I don't know if you posted before, but if you, oh yeah, you do have it. So you have, let's see, Woods, Fulgham, okay. Bench, you have Juju, DJ Chark, Hayden Hurst, and Stafford. Honestly, I would say maybe drop Ingram or Hurst. Probably Ingram first, because I like Hurst's, Hurst has at least gotten a few TDs. So maybe drop Ingram and pick up T. Higgins. I think that's good. Ambi, hope your channel goes big. You have a nice... Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, hope to continue to see you here. That's great to hear. Being Colts guy, when is Darius Leonard coming back? I actually haven't looked this week yet, but I want to say there's a chance he might be back this week. I think he was very close before the bye, and he might have, they might have been just holding him off because we were playing the Bengals, and honestly, it was kind of a tight one because we kind of went down pretty badly. At the beginning of the game, I had to come back. So I think there's a good chance that he's back this week, but I have not actually seen any news on it just yet. Let's see if I can find anything on just Google right now. Darius Leonard. Yeah, it looks like after resting up during the bye week, this is from Colts.com, Leonard could possibly return this Sunday when the Colts head to Detroit. So yeah, I have faith that he comes back. Is anyone worth spending your priority number waiver one on? It depends on your team. There's a lot of good wide receivers, so I don't know that you should spend number one waiver wire on. I don't think there's any running backs that really stands out. So unless you need something right now, and I think from what I remember, I think your team is doing really well. I think you're probably okay just waiting and seeing who clears waiver. Bark, I can't tell if you're joking or not there. Ambi, do you think the Colts can be good with their upcoming schedule? Yeah, so that's the thing. I still think they're a good team moving forward, but they definitely have a tough schedule. Lions, I think they're going to do well against, but Ravens, Titans, Packers, Titans, Texans, Raiders, Texans, Steelers, Jags. It's going to be tough, but I think they've proven that they can play well. So I honestly kind of think that you should maybe keep them and see what happens. Oh yeah, I kind of figured it was a joke. It's hard to tell over text, unfortunately. But yeah, I think it's worse because what happens if they play the Ravens and then the Packers and they do really well. They're worth a stash because if they can prove that they can play well against those teams, it's a set and forget for the rest of the season pretty much. So you're welcome back. So yeah, I mean, it's also tough to stash two defenses, so I'm not going to tell you to do it, but yeah, I think they're worth holding on to. I picked up the Eagles D over the Colts, but then I see the Colts. Exactly, yep. Yeah, I agree with that. The Eagles are good for this week and their next game. I think they have a bye next week. But I do believe, I really think, not even being biased, I think the Colts are worth holding on to. For sure. And hopefully there's someone on your team that you can just make room for. Yeah. Honestly, you might be able to hold them again for the Giants. They didn't do like great, but they still did pretty well. So
When I initially mentioned them, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I kind of said, you know, hold it because I think it'll be good for, you know, the Giants, the Cowboys, and the Giants again. For sure, for sure. I don't know if anyone here is a tech expert, but I dropped my Mac today and it's still turning on, but the screen won't turn on. So like I can turn it on here and the keyboard lights up and everything, but geez, that's really dirty. For some reason the screen won't turn on, so if we have any Mac experts in here, let me know. I wonder if maybe something got like disconnected with the motherboard and the display. Feels bad. But anyways. Yeah, keep those questions coming. Otherwise, I'd be kind of curious if anyone watched the video and had any thoughts on it. We can definitely talk a little bit about the waiver wire choice that I have. But yeah, Tal, I should try that. I'll see. Let's see. I'll see if it makes any sound, but that's actually a good point. What? Yeah. Davis, yeah, clinical. I've been trying to do that. No, it's okay. It's an older MacBook. It's all good. Davis, if I trade him, it would leave me pretty thin and run back with the next being Josh Kelly, Boston Scott, Jamal Williams, and McKinnon. Yeah, I think P. Ryan is a sort of a sneaky pickup, honestly. So if you can get him, I don't think that's a bad idea. For sure, for sure. I don't like hasty, so I guess pick up at your own discretion. Yeah, I guess that does leave you a little thin at running back, right? Because you don't really have a true number one running back, which is a little tough. All right. Hell, man, if you guys keep on joining my channel, I will be able to eventually afford a new MacBook, but maybe in like 3 years. Yeah, Davis, I'm actually going back to your previous comment because I know we talked about that. Oh, okay, sorry, I missed that. What are your thoughts on MG3 rest of the season? He's been RB3 and seems I'm trading him, and hopefully he has a good game without Lindsay. I was actually surprised he didn't get suspended at all. I think he's still got a lot of value. I think he's a solid RB2 moving forward. I don't really think Lindsay's going to cut into his production too much. He seems like he's the go-to guy there. And when seeing... Oh, okay, so you're saying... Wait, sorry, are you saying you want to trade Melvin Gordon or Christian McCaffrey there? Yeah, sorry, I completely missed that one. Yeah, Ari, I think it depends. Are these people that you know? Are these friends, or who are they exactly? Gotcha. I don't think it's a bad idea. If you can potentially upgrade, I think that's good, but he could be a solid guy next to CMC for you. I always say, like, you know, if you're gonna trade someone like that, you should package him with someone else to get like an upgrade at running back. I don't think you could go wrong with him, but if you can get someone that's in the more RB1 tier, I would definitely do that. Yahoo public leagues are joke. Just got Jefferson, Robbie Jefferson. Oh, geez. Nice. That's awesome. I mean, that could be 3 stars for you right there, Yitters. That's a great job. Oh, okay. You got J-Rob as your RB2. Yeah, I would, if you do it, definitely try and trade up for someone a little bit more solid. James Robinson. Let's see. Let me pull this up. Okay, so Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Joe Mixon, Mike Davis, David Johnson, James Robinson. So way too many running backs than anyone really needs. But hey, you know, people get injured. There's bye weeks. I always really like having more running backs than needed. As a Jacobs owner, will you trade for Rojo? So I know we've been. Let me see how he did last week with Fournette back. Okay. I kind of lean staying with Jacobs. I think the Raiders' offense is gonna heat up a little bit more, and I think Ronald Jones takes a little bit of a hit with Fournette back, and their usage, I think, is gonna depend a lot on the actual game script. So I would honestly probably keep Jacobs.
Just coworker, yeah. I think unless you know them really well, it's probably tough to talk smack. You know, a lot of people are probably shyer too, so yeah, I don't know. It's always a little. I definitely don't talk smack with my coworkers there. Value-wise, pick one. Claypool. Claypool did have a bad. Let's assume everyone on the Steelers is healthy. I kind of lean Kirk. Kirk, his targets and volume have been sort of up and down a lot, but he's been getting a lot of looks, especially in the end zone. I mean, he was one play away from 3 TDs last week, so I think I give the edge to Kirk right now. Mainly also because there's going to be a lot of people to feed on the Steelers, so Claypool might just be, he honestly, which is kind of sad, he might turn into sort of a boom or bust sort of players. Drop Kirk or AP. Yadvir, what's up? Who are you trying to pick up? He's Twisted Visions, what's up? Is Denzel Mims a good flex start or someone else? I need a flex player. Who else do you have on your team? Otherwise, I do like Denzel Mims. I have him actually. So they're playing the Chiefs. I think he could be a decent flex. I have him as my pickup this week, and even actually, I think I talked about him last week too, but he's going to be their number 1 receiver, especially with Jameis and Crowder out, if he's still going to be out this week. And if they're going to be playing catch up, Darnold's going to have to throw a lot, and I think it's going to be going for Mims a lot. So I don't think he's a bad flex. There are probably safer ones out there depending on who's on your who's on the waiver wires and who else you have on the team. But I don't think he's a bad play by any chance. Oh man, yeah, a lot of people gave up on Claypool right before. And Tonyan isn't as bad because he hasn't been producing, so you might be able to pick him up later on, or if you really want him, trade him for low. Brady, I need a QB because Watson is on bye. Yeah, I think let me look at their matchups and who I have where I'm. So if you're starting Brady this week, yeah, I actually have him pretty high up on my list, so I don't think Brady's a bad play at all. Twisted, I literally have everyone bench on a bye. Okay, yeah. So if you can't really drop anybody and you need to play Denzel Mims, I don't think it's a bad play at all. Mike, what's up? Good to see you here. Ryan Gonzalez, trade Robbie Anderson and AB for Dalvin Cook. Oh yeah, I mean if you could do that. Ryan, do you have a pretty good wide receiver depth? Because if you can, I was talking earlier in the stream that AB probably has one of the higher values that he's ever going to have as of right now, unless he just blows it up. So you're losing a really good wide receiver in Robbie Anderson, but if you have decent depth at wide receiver and can hold that down, I think it's actually really great for you. And I mean, it's Dalvin Cook. He is a top tier running back. So I would do that if you can get Dalvin Cook for sure. Drop Tonyan for Gronk. Yes, I would. Gronk's usage has been going up. Let's see how he did last week. I didn't actually watch that game, but his Gronk's usage has been going up a lot, and I think Brady's gonna continue to target him. So let's see, Rob. I mean, yeah. Looking at his stats, it's just it looks like his volume is going up and up. So I definitely would drop Tonyan for Gronk. Not sure if you discussed it already, but what are your thoughts on AB? I missed out. Oh yeah. I mean, so I think AB's. I was saying I think the first few weeks he's gonna get involved, especially since Godwin's gonna be out for at least a week with the finger surgery. I kind of see him starting as maybe like a floor of like 7 to 9 points, and I think he's gonna get a few end zone looks as well. So I like him. I was telling people if you have him, try and trade him now because his value is going to be high because of his name and because he's going to the Bucks. But it'll be interesting to see what happens when both Evans and Godwin are all playing. Not at all. Let's see, Ryan Gonzalez. So let's go back to your question. So if I get Cooks, I have CMC, Chubb. I mean, that's a solid lineup. You're going to have top, 3 at the top, maybe 5 running backs going to the playoffs, so that's good. Again, it really just depends on what you have for wide receiver and if you can afford to give him Robbie Anderson because, I mean, honestly, Cook might still be worth it with the points he's going to get you. So hopefully he gets back, but that's a dangerous running back corpse. Yitters, Vilo on Kiddo, he also has Gronk, who's super high, and I have great depths of wide receiver he's mentioning. Also, out of those players I've told you about, who do you think I should try and trade? I don't know if you're ever going to be able to buy low on Kittle. That's the issue. If you can trade, I mean, if I was a Kittle owner and I didn't love him, I would probably require like a DJ Moore or a Justin Jefferson back. Maybe if Juju has a really good game, you can try and do it, but I don't know. I mean, depending on the owner, I don't know that you can buy Kittle low, to be honest. I also got a trade offer, Michael Thomas. Oh yeah, I mean, exactly. Like Gitter said, if you do that, do it right away. You're not as long as like Claypool is not your wide receiver number 1, get Michael Thomas right away. Okay, so Ryan, Lisa and Chark would be my wide receiver. I can trade Monty for someone. I still think you do it. Go check out my waiver wire video today. There's a lot of wide receivers that I think could be serviceable. And Robbie Anderson, he's a really good wide receiver, but I don't think he's anything like, league changing. So I love Dalvin Cook for you. So go grab him and then take a look at my list. And I think you should be able to hold yourself pretty well, even if you're not going to get 15 plus a week from your wide receivers. Your running back should be able to make up for that more than enough. Davis, I tried trading Chubb, owner in my league, when he had no running backs to start, but wouldn't buy. Oh geez, yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Who can you trade AB for? It really depends. It depends on how your league mates feel about him. I'm in a pretty competitive league, and obviously when I ask anybody about AB, they're gonna put him really low because they think he's going to a really crowded field. So unless you get someone to bite, your best option is to stay with him and hope that he plays really well. Yeah, not necessarily. I think he's going to get covered a lot, and I think he's going to pull a lot of the primary coverages. So it's tough. I don't think we're going to see Juju from 2 years ago. I hope he improves because I really like him as a player, but I don't know that it was ever the issue of him not getting targeted or just like him driving the main coverages, but he's still that wide receiver 1 that the defenders are going to focus on. He's new to fantasy and tries to trade right after his players have down games. So, oh yeah, I mean, that's a great thing to take advantage of. So, if he'll bite on one of your better wide receivers, like you don't need Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. So, maybe try Juju. If it doesn't do that, move up a little bit to Robbie Anderson. I think that's going to be great, and if you can pull it off, definitely get Kittle because he's one of 2, maybe 3 tight ends in the league that is that much higher than everyone else. So I would do that for sure. Davis, is Jefferson a solid start this week since focus will be on Thielen? I play a guy who is Lockett, Adams, and Diggs. I think he should be a solid start unless for some reason Jerry Alexander decides to shadow him. We were talking a little bit about this earlier. Theoretically, Jerry Alexander should be shadowing Thielen, which you're right. I think Thielen's going to be a sit of the week, but Jefferson should be a solid start otherwise. Mike, I just got Derrick Henry for Pat Mahomes and Justin Herbert. Oh, that's awesome. That's really good. You're gonna get a really a top tier. I've loved Justin Herbert since honestly he started in the NFL, and I've been talking about him for 3 weeks straight to go grab. So that's not bad at all. That's really good. I mean, you get Derrick Henry, so that's no question. You upgraded a lot. Twisted, is DJ droppable? So that's the thing. We were talking about how he had a bad week last week, but he's still going to get the most targets. And Minshew isn't that bad of a quarterback. It depends on what the rest of your roster looks like and if there's someone you really, really want. But Chark is still the wide receiver 1, and he has potential to be sort of like high-end wide receiver 2 for the rest of the season if he stays healthy. So I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, Veer. So I was actually I don't think I missed it, but if I did, so I was saying, who would you be dropping for? And are both of these like bench players or what? Who exactly are you trying to pick up if you drop either AP or Kirk? Be right back. Oh, Brady. Oh, so okay. Who's your current quarterback? I thought you already had Brady on your team, so that's why I got confused. I don't know how I feel. Let's look at how he's been doing. I don't know. I feel like there's a few options I like a little bit better than Brady. Let me see. Yeah, tell me who your starting quarterback is right now. Oh, I don't think. Well, okay. So he has a bye. Is that right? So, Do you have anyone else you can drop? Can you list the rest of your team? I like both of them as like sort of a bench rider, so I don't know that I necessarily want to drop either of them right now. Twisted, do I keep Jamal Williams this week or drop him because I got Aaron Jones as well? Yeah, I think you keep him until you hear exactly what's going on with Aaron Jones, because if Aaron Jones isn't good to go, then you start, you play Jamal. Sebastian Soares, should I trade Lockett for James Robinson? What does the rest of your team look like? If you need a running back and you're okay at wide receiver, I like that a lot because this is ultimate sell high. I would do that if you can do it, because I think James Robinson is going to be a little bit more consistent and get you more points for the rest of the season. This week, cool. So let me look at my rankings really quickly. So I actually have Koo a little bit higher, so I would go him over Let's. Oh, you also have Metcalf. Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, if the owner takes it, I would probably take James Robinson over Lockett. Miles, should I drop Debo for AJ Green if I already have Higgins? That's tough. I don't like starting two guys from the same team. So I would maybe stash because, yeah, I mean, I guess my question to you is, do you really think you're going to start both AJ Green and T. Higgins? All right, Mike, so before you get back to you, let me get back to Yadvir. Bench is Kirk, AP, AB, Bernard, and Boss. Okay, so if that's the case, drop Kirk. Sorry. Okay, we're talking about Christian Kirk and not Kirk Cousins, right? Oh, that's tough. That's tough. I would maybe drop Peterson because you need a quarterback, right? And I'm assuming you have a solid wide receiver and running back starter. So out of those, I would probably that's really tough. Check maybe Miles Sanders' status this week. If nothing's going to come out tonight, out of those, maybe I would say probably Boston Scott or Adrian Peterson. If you're going to use either Boston Scott, if you're going to use him this week, then maybe do Adrian Peterson. But it also depends on who you're going to start there. So, start for this week particularly, because you don't want to get rid of any starters just to pull up another starter, because I'll be counterintuitive. Mike, 8-man league. I got Herbert, CMC, James Robinson, Henry Mixon, David Johnson, Keenan Allen, Hopkins, Ridley, AJ Brown, Godwin. No, you're solid, dude. I don't think you need to change anything right now. You've got. Yeah, you're very, very solid because you've got at least 3 starters at each position plus some, so you're going to be able to sort of mix and match based off of the matchup, so you're very, very solid. I would just sit tight. Yeah, Sebastian, no problem, man. Miles, should I drop Singletary for Mustard if I already have Cook, Dalvin Cook, Josh Jacobs, Antonio Gibson, James Robinson, and Bernard? I think you should. If you have those guys, that means you can survive over the next few weeks. Without needing Singletary, and I just don't like Singletary at all. So drop him and stash for Mostert because he might be good for you in the playoffs. Twisted Vision. Do I keep Zeke or trade him? If you find anyone that's gonna take him, sure, but he's at his ultimate low right now value wise. So I don't think you're gonna be able to trade him. Depends again the league you're in and sort of the people that are in it, but. It's going to be hard to trade Zeke at what his true value probably is. Clamped Easy, what's up? Welcome to the stream. I got offered Zeke, Julio, and Juju Smith for my Tyler Boyd, Stephon Diggs, and Todd Gurley. So you're getting Zeke, Julio, and Juju, Tyler Boyd, Stephon, and Todd Gurley. My RB1 is Alvin, wide receiver. 2 and 3 is Keenan Allen and Tyreek. I don't know if I like that for you. Yeah, like Mike says, Zeke is. We don't really know what Zeke is going to do, right? Like, ideally, he's going to turn things around a little bit. But if they don't have a quarterback and, like, they don't have Dalton, he's not going to be useful because everyone's going to stack the box against him. So he automatically drops to that sort of, like, RB2, low RB2, that RB2 sort of level. Julio is good, a little inconsistent. Juju is not on his best right now. Boyd and Stephon have been really consistent, and so has Gurley. So the safer side of the bet is Boyd, Diggs, and Gurley. If you really want to take a risk and try and upgrade to a Zeke, and you think he's going to start doing well over the next few weeks, this is the best time to get him, obviously, because Zeke and Julio, those are players that should be top of their positions, but just not in the best, scenario or best situation for themselves. Bernard if Mixon is out, or Hyde if Carson is out. I would go Bernard. I like him, and I'm pretty sure there's some crazy stat that I think in PPR, whenever Bernard is playing and Mixon is out, I think he's averaging like 18 or 19 points per game. So keep riding with Bernard at this point. Kellis Talks, what's up? Okay, redraft league PPR 4-3. Your record is 4-3. You're 4th out of 10th place by a close game. Okay, Watson, Chark. So you have Watson, Chark, DJ Moore, AJ Brown, Robert Woods, A-Rob, Ayuk, Jerry Judy, Henry, Cook, Hunt, Miles Sanders. Trade Henry and Moore for Chubb and DK. I don't think you need to do that. I don't think I would do that. Henry is one of the fantasy's top running backs and more consistent running backs. Even if he has a bad day, he'll probably get you like 10 to 12 points. And I really like DJ Moore. I think he's trending up. We saw this week that DK isn't invincible, and Tyler Lockett got a lot more looks from him. And Chubb is still going to be a solid back, but he's still going to be sharing that backfield with Kareem Hunt. So I like the Henry and Moore side a lot better. Mike, no, definitely not. No. If anything, right now, you shouldn't be getting Michael Thomas for anything like more than like a mid-tier position. He's injured. There's drama with him on his team. He got suspended. There's a lot of issues. You're giving up 2 way better wide receivers at the moment for MT, so do not do that. If anything, maybe DJ for MT, but I would not give up Ridley and DJ for him. I still wouldn't give up, if you're talking about giving up Ridley and DJ for Devontae, I still wouldn't do that. Devontae, yeah, of course he had a really good game, but that's not going to happen every single week. I like Ridley and DJ Moore a lot, and I think they're just their stock is rising right now. So, unless you really like Devontae, or maybe you're a Packers fan, Devontae is probably going to outscore those two, but I don't think necessarily that he's going to outscore the combination of those two, or the value that you're going to lose by giving up 2 really, really solid wide receivers. What should I do with David Montgomery? So he's not a running back that I like, honestly. That's what I'll say. I don't really love the offense that the Bears have. It reminds me a lot of the Colts, where solid defense, but sort of a struggling offense. When I looked, someone called me out for him last week, and I think when I looked, he actually started to get a little bit more involved in both the passing game and the running game. But let's look at last week. So they played the Rams, and if we look at the stats, 14 carries and 5 targets. So you can't really trade for him. I don't think his value is high unless you're trading to a Bears fan. So I think you got to just stick with him unless you can package him for someone that really likes him. Rosie, what's up? Welcome. So you're currently 2-5. Would you rather pick up Hasty and Coleman and to control the San Francisco, or Beasley and Goddard? My wide receivers are Godwin, Lockett, Devontae Parker, T. Higgins, Robinson. So you're solid at wide receiver. My backs are Zeke, Leaf Bell, McKinnon, Gaskin, James Robinson, and ends are Juju and Fant. So you definitely don't need 3 tight ends. I don't like the 49ers backfield. I think it's going to be, honestly, maybe just a toss of a coin before every game to see who's there. And Mostert is probably going to be coming back in about a month or so. So I don't want to deal with the headache there. Yes, your running back could probably use a little bit of an upgrade. But if I were you, I mean, at this point, it seems like it's probably just stashing, right? So I would probably go with Beasley. And honestly, I like Coleman over Hasty. So I would say Beasley and Coleman. If you have room to pick them up and monitor Coleman's status. And then for tight ends, you're fine, but I would maybe drop. I like Goddard a little bit more as your starting wide receiver moving forward. Juju somehow, I don't know if he's still injured or what happened this week, but he didn't get a lot of volume or production. And Fant, I think he's maybe a little injured too, right? I think once Goddard comes back in maybe this week or next week, he's going to be one of Wentz's top targets. So I kind of like him a little bit better than Juju or Fant. Veer, I'm 2-5. Any other points I can get? So should I play Joey Sly versus Falcons, Matt Prater versus Colts, or Blankenship versus Lions? So for this week, let me look at their. I still think you go Blankenship, man. Until the Colts figure out their offense and become a super, super heavy, top tier offense, which may not happen with Rivers at the helm, I think he's going to get a lot of opportunities. And I still go Rodrigo. I actually have Rodrigo as my number 2 ranked kicker for this week. Yeah, I mean, Sly's going to be okay. He's not as accurate, obviously, but I have him, let's see. I have him around like the 7 to 9 rank for me. I think the Panthers' offense is going to be a little bit more fluid, so he's not going to get as many opportunities to kick those longer field goals. Ethan, should I be worried about Josh Jacobs? I don't think you need to worry about Josh Jacobs right now. He's still the workhorse in that offense that I think is trending upwards. Jonu, I don't know what happened. I think we need someone who watched a game to be able to talk a little bit more about it, but I don't think you necessarily need to worry about it. None of those are top tier tight ends. I mean, Jonu was going off, but like I said, I do like Goddard a little bit more if he's available. But if there's no harm in stashing both Jonu and Fant, playing matchups and seeing how they can do, because Drew Lock really likes Fant, and there's going to be a slice of the pie for everyone on the Tennessee Titans offense. So Jonu's a good stash. Sebastian, should I drop Debo and get Edmonds? How are you doing at wide receiver? I don't know if you posted your lineup, but how are you doing right now sort of with your wide receivers? Because if you're okay there, I would maybe stash Debo and see when he comes back, because I don't think he had a serious injury. Edmonds, if you need him to play this week, he's a good pickup. Otherwise, I don't, he's only going to be super relevant for maybe 1 or 2 weeks until Drake comes back. He's still going to have value once Drake comes back, but I don't know that I feel comfortable starting him over other starting running backs. Ryan Gonzalez, Koo or Blankenship rest of the season? I go Blankenship. Yeah, he definitely played great, and I think a lot of it just has to do with how long Kenyon Drake is out for. Davis, where do you have Koo ranked this week? I don't see your ranking. Yep, I don't actually. So the rankings I actually do I just kind of do myself and use it as a reference during my streams and for all of my who I want to choose for starting and pickups. Koo, let me see. I have him ranked sort of like mid to high, low. So like right now, let me see. Actually, I'll give you the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have him ranked about 5 to 6 range. Again, it has to do with the offense and how many opportunities they're actually going to give their kicker. So, not a bad play, but we saw what happened last week. He should have had a really good matchup against the Lions, and he didn't do that well. He didn't have the opportunities. Sebastian, Fulgham, T. Higgins, Metcalf, and Lockett. So you probably don't need Debo, but he could be an okay stash. What about your running backs? Who do you have on running back, Sebastian? Yadvir. He is, because once he's back, he's going to be the running back 1 for the Ravens. But the Ravens backfield, man, that's another one of the backfields that I don't really want to have to deal with at all. And I mean, I think he's gonna be okay, but you can't really rely him to be a solid like running back 1 or even running back 2. So if you have the spot, sure, but I think there could. I mean, running backs, I will say it's sort of a wasteland out there. There's not a lot of good options. So yes, he's worth a good stash. Clutchful, welcome. Robert Woods and Bell for Michael Thomas. I would do that if you don't need Woods right now. I would do that. I think Bell is at a sell high right now. So if you don't need Woods and you have if your record is high, like good enough to sort of not have that wide receiver right now, I would do that. Ryan, try and trade Lockett if you need RB or package Lockett. And sorry, Ryan, I'm not sure if that's an answer to someone else or if that's a question. Let me know if it is a question though. Rosie, how would you rate these receivers the rest of the season? Beasley, Ayuk, Rugg, Aguilar, Rashard, Higgins, Shepard. Okay, so I think we go. Rashard, Shepard, Ayuk, Beasley, Aguilar, Rugg. So Sebastian, you have Davis, Elliott, and Swift. Okay. And you're trying to trade Debo for Edmonds. Yeah, I mean, your running back is definitely. You could probably use a little bit more depth, so it's not a bad idea. You never know what's going to happen with the target share once Debo comes back and how long he's out for, and maybe he might get re-injured again. So I don't think that's a horrible idea, honestly. You have way more wide receiver depth, so yeah, go for it. Davis is going to be losing. Exactly, yep. And I'm kind of curious. I'm still holding Davis in the one league that I have him, but I'm very curious to see sort of how he is incorporated into the gameplay. And, he might actually still have a little bit of value, so I don't think it's worth dropping right away. Yadvir, is Thielen a wide receiver 1 rest of the season? I think he should be. He's not going to be this week. I would sit him, and I actually probably am going to have him as maybe my sit of the week for wide receivers. But I think there's also rumors of him getting traded, so it's going to we'll see what happens. If he goes on a new team, it depends on the team. I think there's some trade rumors of him going to the Browns maybe. Otherwise, besides this week, if he's still on the Vikings, I would consider him a wide receiver 1 for sure. Yeah, for sure, Sebastian. I hope that helps. I don't think it's one of those things that's going to be really game-changing for you, but it's always good to have someone like an Edmonds who is going to have a lot of value when his starting running back isn't there, but at least still some value when, when Drake is actually back, because I don't really love Drake that much this year. Are any of the Browns receivers worth scooping up and dropping Ruggs for? I got Galladay, McLaurin. Yeah, I like Rashard Higgins a lot, and I think he's going to get more opportunities and outproduce Jarvis Landry, actually. So, Ruggs, I'm not sold on. If you don't think you're going to... I would maybe drop Ruggs for Rashard Higgins. You can complete your Higgins Exodia pieces, get both Higgins going on. But I like Rashard Higgins over Ruggs at the moment. Is start Tannehill or Herbert this week? So let's see. We have... Let's see. Let me look at the schedules for this week. So Titans are playing Bengals and Chargers are playing Denver. I would probably I think they're both really good starts. I would lean Ryan Tannehill for sure. I Fight Wars, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I do think so. I think whoever's going to be the actual starter for that team, they're a pretty dangerous offense. So I do think he has value. I don't know that I would go out and burn a waiver wire on him right now if you have somewhat of a high one. But keep monitoring to see what's going on with Carlos Hyde this week. and Travis Homer. But I think if you need it, especially, I think he's a great flyer for just this week when everyone else is injured. Yeah, for sure, Higgins squared. You can even rename your team. But yeah, both Higgins I love. It's kind of annoying that we have two Higgins that we have to talk about. When I posted on Reddit today, everyone was just saying Higgins, and I had no idea which Higgins they were talking about. So that's a little rough. But Ryan, when CMC is back, Davis will handle 30. Yeah, so that's what I think. I think Davis is still going to have value if when Christian McCaffrey comes back and gives that offense a lot of boost. Maybe they'll be playing ahead a lot of their games, which means Mike Davis will go in, and Mike Davis is a stud. So yeah, he's definitely worth holding on to. Rosie, start Zeke week 6 with Dallas questionable O-line, third string quarterback, or start backup Le'Veon. Oh yeah, so I actually really like Le'Veon this match. I love revenge games. So I go, honestly, just for the memes of it, go with Le'Veon Bell. I hope he just drops 20 plus against Adam Gase. Do it and let us know how it goes. I know Davis, right? It's tough, and like. I mean, I get it. Like, if you have one of the Higgins, you're not thinking about the other one, and you're just gonna say Higgins. But yeah, I definitely got corrected a few times. I'm like, okay, well, thanks, I guess. But no, I like both. They're both solid plays. I do need to even catch up on my that post later on. There's I think since I started, there's been like 20, 30 plus questions on there, so might be a late night depending on when the stream ends. But yeah. I don't think so. It's still CMC. He's one of those players don't worry about Mike Davis. Like, Mike Davis is relevant because CMC was gone. But, the coaches know, the team knows it. It's CMC's team. And I would not worry about CMC if you have him, just because Mike Davis did well. Jack Anderson, what's up, my man? Let's see. How's this trade? Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson, Hunt for Thielen. Okay, so Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson, and Hunt for Thielen, Diggs, and Tyreek. Which side are you getting, and what's the rest of your team looking like? I like... If you're really hurting for wide receivers, like, you're set with those three pretty much. But yeah, it depends on the rest of your team, which side you're getting. Davis, thank you so much. Yeah, I hope so too. And hopefully it doesn't grow too big, because I definitely like the super personal interactions right now. But no, I appreciate that. That's awesome. I'm glad you enjoy it. I fight worse. If Dallas is the main back in Seattle this week, would you prefer him over healthy Coleman? Yeah, I would. I was talking about this a little bit before. Even if Coleman is back, and I do like him a little bit more to take over the lead role, you never know. We don't know who's actually going to take the majority of the carries there. So I'm kind of avoiding the 49ers backfield if you can. Mike, thank you so much. Yeah, see you in the next one. Appreciate it. Oh, I know Davis, right? Just got to grind. I actually, I got banned for a little bit because one of the mods didn't like my stuff. But luckily, a few other mods sort of overturned him. So I'm finally back, and I should be able to post a little bit more. Will Edelman improve this year, PB? I don't have any faith in any Patriots players this year, honestly. Unless Stidham, whatever, starts and he targets Edelman a lot. As long as Cam is there, I don't really want to touch anyone on the Patriots right now. I'm getting Devontae, and I have Carson and Elliott as my running backs right now. So let's go back to... so Jack, give me a second. I'm going to scroll back up to the actual trade proposal. So you're getting Devontae, Allen Robinson. Wait, so you're getting Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson, and Kareem Hunt, and you're giving away Thielen, Diggs, and Tyreek. Also, I'm getting Devontae. I have Carson Elliott. Huh. That's not a bad trade. Honestly, the wide receivers are... I think you're giving away a little bit more wide receiver power, but you're getting Hunt back. I would see if you can maybe... I wonder if this other person has someone else besides Allen Robinson. I'm not as high on Allen Robinson because I think his production is going to come from forced balls. I am a little worried that you're giving away a lot of running wide receiver value. And Hunt I still like, even when Chubb is back, but you're not getting like a true starter back. So maybe see if you can get a different running back, honestly. Rajveer, what's up? Need some advice on a trade if you can help me out. Yeah, for sure. Post it. Did you do your Q&A? Oh no, Davis, don't worry about it. Yeah, I do it. So we'll talk a little bit about stream schedules, but it's probably gonna be like a Tuesday, Thursday, and maybe like a Friday or Saturday. Yeah, I know, it's fine. I got banned it was a permanent ban, but then they talked and they unbanned early this week, so it's all good. It's just a misunderstanding. Oh, Ryan. Oh, thank you. That's great. I mean, Fantasy Flock, I'm kind of curious. How did you find me? All right, so Rev video, let's look. So you're being offered Zeke, Mike Evans, Chase Edmonds, and Dez for CMC. My running backs are Aaron Jones, CMC, Eckler. I don't think you should do that. Zeke is really low right now. Mike Evans, he's questionable. I don't like Mike Evans with Godwin in, which he should be back in a week or two. And especially with AB, that's a little muddled. Chase Edmonds is good, but he's only going to be serviceable for maybe 1 or 2 weeks. And I mean, Dez is only on the practice squad right now. So that's not enough for me. That's not enough value to give for CMC, which, you know, he's going to come back and become one of the top backs in the league. So I would not do that. Keep your guys right now. And take a look at my waiver wire video for this week. There's a lot of wide receivers that I think you could pick up. Should I drop Kirk or Edelman? If I drop Kirk, I would drop Kirk. I would drop Edelman and keep Kirk. Yeah, I like Kirk a lot. Ryan, wow, that's surprising. I don't know who shouted me out, but if it was one of my viewers, thank you so much. I mean, you know, Fantasy Flock is doing it great, and much respect to him. I definitely, you know, try to watch his stuff and learn from him, but that's awesome. Thank you so much. Sebastian, I got Goddard from the waivers, but I currently have Schultz. I'm planning to drop him to get Gronk. Should I hold on to Goddard as well? Yeah, and sorry, I honestly should just make a list of everyone's teams, and so I have to keep on going back. I like if you can hold Goddard and Gronkowski, I would do that. I think you're gonna have 2 really good starting tight ends, and if your deadline's a little bit later, you could use one of them as a trade bait. I don't know if I would have a recommendation of Goddard over Gronk, but both of those are very, very startable tight ends for the rest of the season. Jack Anderson, yes. So I still think you should try and get a better RB1 if you can. No, yeah, Rajveer, just like instant decline that. He's giving you literally trash, and like I understand that there's Dez hype, but like don't buy into the hype. You have one of the best, you know, not even just running backs in fantasy. You have one of the best fantasy players, period. There's a reason why he went #1 in most leagues. You're not getting enough back for him. So, yeah, that's honestly, that's kind of disrespectful that he gave you that, especially when he took out T and tossed in Dez. Yeah, Jack, like I was saying, I would still try and get a good, a little bit more solid of a running back one back if you can. Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing, you know, I don't think it's his fault at all. It's just that, you know, if you have that many people talking, and I think what he does is that he takes donations. So like people who actually pay him, he gets some money. I hope that, I'm hoping that never happens to me, because I don't want to take your money just to answer a simple question, in my opinion. So, I definitely like the small nature, and honestly right now it's hard to keep up with a lot of chat, so it's a good times right now. We'll keep it small and answer everyone's questions, and that's the main point. Yeah, no problem. Good seeing you tonight. I'll see you in a future stream. Razveer, I was mainly wondering because I'm concerned with, so we talked about this a little bit before you came in, if you just got in recently. Don't worry about Mike Davis at all. It's CMC's backfield. There's a good chance that Mike Davis is still going to be involved, especially if they get up ahead early. But it's Christian McCaffrey. It's an MVP caliber running back versus a Mike Davis. They're only going to pull him if they're up like 30 points. And they don't need to use him anymore, but if they're up 30 points, it's because Christian McCaffrey already scored 2 touchdowns for you. So I would not worry about that. And like I said, if he was giving you more value for CMC, I want 3 or 4 starters back. I don't want practice squad players or backups at all. So I don't worry about it. And if you really are worried, try and get someone else for him. But don't give away CMC for pennies on a dollar. Oh, wow, yeah, that's crazy. Lamar in Tyreek 1 and 2, that's bold. Don't worry about it at all. So, Jack, yeah, if it's Taylor, I would be a little bit more inclined to do that. I'm pretty high on Jonathan Taylor, and I think his stock is rising up a little bit. He's had a solid floor, even though he doesn't get as many carries as I would like out of a RB1. But I would definitely consider that because you're going to get JT and Devontae, and I think that's a lot more doable. Davis, okay, playing a little ahead. Who's a best waivers on Schultz, Rogers, Bryant, Olsen, Njoku, and some others? I would just wait. I don't think, especially with that caliber of tight ends, I don't think you really need to worry about it. Rogers is most likely going to be irrelevant, and so is Bryant, because both Hooper and Goddard will be back by then, and barring any more injuries, they probably won't really be useful. So we'll keep that in mind before week 11. Let's talk like week 9 or week 10. Look at the schedules, look at who else is out there. But I don't think you need to worry about it that ahead of time. Rickety Candy, what's up? Okay, you need help with your team. I'm in a 12 league, 12 PPR Stafford. Okay, 12 league, 12 person PPR. You have Stafford. Okay, Tua, Bridgewater, Edwards, Hilaire, Gaskin, Swift, Edmonds, Jamal Williams, Robbie Anderson. Okay, so first of all, you don't need 3 quarterbacks, so try and trade order and drop it. What to do to improve wide receiver, running back? So let's see. So Ryan and Davis, thank you, Davis. So thank you so much. Good luck to you this week. And if you're free later this week, feel free to join one of the other streams. Ryan, I don't have a set schedule because I just started streaming last week, but I'm trying to do maybe 3 days a week. So Tuesday nights before waiver, Thursday potentially a short one before the Thursday night game, and then Friday night or Saturday night, depending on sort of my schedule, just to do sort of a stardom sit-em stream. And last Saturday night, I just did a really random one. It was super late at like midnight Pacific, so I didn't expect that many people, but we got a decent amount of crowd to show up, so we might have a random stream on like late night on a weekend night, but probably Tuesday, Thursday for sure, and then Friday, Saturday. Okay, sorry, Rickety. So let's look at it. So yeah, like I was saying, you don't need 3 quarterbacks, so I would get rid of 1. Your running backs are Clyde, Gaskin, Swift, Edmonds. So you have solid wide receivers right now. I also don't think you really need 2 tight ends. So I would maybe try and trade Fant and either an Edmonds or Jamal for another running back. I like Clyde Edwards. I like Gaskin. I like Swift. But Clyde and Swift are both sort of in timeshares right now, which could be concerns. I don't think so, but you're solid right now, so don't even stress about your team. The only thing you can do is just try and see if you can trade up for like a solid starter or a solid bell cow. So I would see if you can maybe find someone who's QB needy or tight end needy, package it with one of your sort of like lower end players to get an RB1. I think waiver's clear for me around like, so I'm Pacific, so I want to say maybe like 1 or 2-ish. I think maybe 12. I think it's maybe like 3 a.m. Eastern for me, so yeah. William Matthew, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Oh, thank you so much, Rickety. I appreciate that. Ryan, thank you so much. Yeah, see you next stream. Great questions. So William and Rosie, let me get to you. So first of all, William, I think you're new watcher, so thank you for coming to the stream. Should I trade away Swift, David Johnson, and Justin Jefferson for MT and Marquise Brown? So you're going to be losing 2 pretty solid running backs. So you have CMC, Miles, JT, and Le'Veon Bell. Your wide receivers are Tyreek, Higgins, Evans, Lamb, and AB. Okay, so I don't like Marquise Brown in that trade is what I'll say. I think he's going to ride your bench relative to who else you have. And I kind of think... So what's your record like right now? Are you like okay? Can you hold on? Like, are you like 6-1, 5-2, where you can afford to maybe not have to worry about it right away, or are you sort of like 500 or even trying to fight for a roster spot? Rosie, I love Trey Vernon for the rest of the season. I mentioned in my video, I think he might be pickup of the year, and that's bold for a tight end, but I really, really like him. Yeah, Ricky, thank you. And Ryan, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I mean, hey, I definitely don't want to take any of his viewers away, but if I can help and maybe just, have some people come in to get a little bit more personal feedback, then, that's great. So thank you so much, Ryan, and that's great to hear. You're 4-3, but in a really easy division. Okay, so if you're fine, because right now, how I think about it, we don't know if Christian McCaffrey is going to be back this week. Miles Sanders is maybe out another week or two, and they also have their bye, so let's count him out for 2 weeks. So if you traded that away, you really have JT and Le'Veon Bell, which is fine, because you can start Tyreek Higgins and Evans, I'm assuming if you're doing 2 and 2 plus a flex. So if you feel like you can hold on for the next 2 to 3 weeks, that's fine. If you have an easy division, 4-3 to me is a little bit risky to play that card, because once you get MT, you don't know what's going to happen with him, right? You don't know if he's going to come back. So honestly, if you don't want to deal with the headache with injuries, suspensions, drama, whatever, like I said, I don't like Marquise Brown at all. I say you maybe just keep Swift, David Johnson, and Justin Jefferson, because Justin Jefferson could be a wide receiver 1 rest of the season. David Johnson, he's a solid RB2, and Swift, his stock is going up. So if I were me, I don't think you need Michael Thomas, and you've got a solid wide receiver core already. So keep your guys maybe, because I like Swift and David Johnson a lot better, and honestly Jefferson's high side with how many consistent games he's going to play over Michael Thomas. And feel free to check out my waiver wire video from today. I have actually a lot of good options for you at wide receiver. Wide receiver this year, there's so many of them that's relevant, and every week it seems like there's more and more. So I don't think you need to trade away a good portion of your team for a very, very big question mark at wide receiver. Sebastian, thank you so much. See you at the next one. Jack, welcome. Need advice? Yeah, for sure, William. Check it out and let me know if you have any more questions. But I definitely keep your guys, because Justin Jefferson, let's just say from now to the end of the season, just think about how many games he's going to play versus how many games that Michael Thomas might play. There's a good chance that you're going to get more points out of Justin Jefferson for the rest of the season. For D-Hop, that's a little bit different. I would try and maybe, if you were to do that, I would maybe try and do Justin Jefferson plus one of your running backs for D-Hop instead, and keep either Swift or David Johnson. Like I said, Marquise Brown is not going to help you at all. So instead of just getting another bench player, keep one of your starting running backs, and don't so you don't have to worry about that. So Jack, sorry, let me get back to you. Need advice in RB2 trades where I'm stacked at wide receiver and have Higgins, Shenault, Kirk sitting on my bench. Wanted to try and trade one for RB. Yeah, so again, that's a tough question because it depends on the players. But yeah, I agree. If you can, I'm not super high on Shenault, but I would try and trade Kirk right now for someone let's see. Who's a good art? Let me look at my list. If you can trade Kirk for someone like a Myles Gaskin, or even Darrell Henderson, maybe MG3, I think that's really good. Don't go for anyone in a timeshare or a backup right now, I would say. Maybe the Josh Jacobs owner is low on him, but use Kirk while he's still very high in his value right now. I think he's a good sell high candidate. Which do you think is they will have good points okay, so buy lows right now. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think, let's see, let me look at my list. Myles Gaskin is good before Tua comes. I think his stock is going to rise. I think Josh Jacobs is a good buy low, even though if I were the Josh Jacobs owner, I probably wouldn't sell him too low. And honestly, the biggest risk is probably Ezekiel Elliott. He is at his all-time low, so his owner might be trying to get rid of him as soon as possible. So it's risky for you as well. That's the only issue, but that's a great buy low. Noah W. Should I trade Thielen, Robbie Anderson, and David Johnson and Marvin Jones for Zeke Pollard? I wouldn't do that. The issue isn't even with Zeke's injury right now. It's just with that team. So I keep your guys. You're giving him way too much for one running back, essentially, because you're never going to start both of them at the same time. And yeah, you're giving him way too much for him. So, I mean, at this point, David Johnson is probably going to outscore Zeke for the moment. And you have two very, very startable wide receiver ones. So keep your guy. Do not do that trade. Justin Martin, welcome. Got the number 1 waiver spot and don't want to waste it if I don't have to. RBs are a mess. This week I can go for Mixon, but I don't. Oh, interesting. So Justin, is Mixon actually on your waiver wire? Because if Mixon is, you use the number 1 waiver spot on him 100%. Otherwise, for the other guys, you do not. I don't like Damian Harris. I don't even want you to pick him up. Jake, until otherwise we see, I mean, Henderson has been the main back as far as I know. I don't watch a lot of Rams games, but I have been following it, following him a little bit. Henderson, I mean, we can look at it, but I don't think anyone is really outpacing him, right? I think he's the main back, and I think he's actually been doing pretty well. So yeah, I like that a lot more. Noah W. I need running back, and I have Drake, Johnson, Perina Murray. So let me go back to your question, Noah. 1 second. Sorry, I'm just trying to scroll up right now. Still though, there's no point. Like, I think you're valuing Zeke a little bit too high. You have David Johnson, right? You're trading Thielen, Robbie Anderson, David Johnson, and Marvin Jones for 1 running back. That's in a really, really bad situation. I mean, if that were me, I would trade maybe 1 of my receivers for Zeke. I would not trade 4 guys for him. So I definitely wouldn't do that. I understand you feel the pinch a little bit, but like, Johnson's going to be fine with you. Piran, I think, is actually going to be okay. Pick up another running back or just start start a 3rd wide receiver at your flex. But I absolutely don't think you should trade for Zeke and Pollard because you're spending way too much for the ultimate buy low candidate right now. All right, so Irie got Aaron Rodgers, Galladay, AJ Brown, Montgomery. Everyone else is. No, I think that's a good. I think you have a solid. Yeah, okay. Those other guys. So I think you have a very solid lineup. I wouldn't change that. Tal, how do you think Gaskins will do against the Rams? So yeah, this week I still have him sort of middle of my tier in like the high 10s. I think I have him about like 17 or 18. I'm really excited to see him with Tua. I think people still underestimate the offense, and unless Tua flops, that offense is still going to be moving, and he's the starting running back. So 100%, I think I don't think he's an auto start depending on the rest of your team, but I think he's a good flex. Rosie, let's see. So we have top priority on Rashard Higgins. Okay. My receivers. So when you say top, I'm assuming number 1, Rosie, and then I guess is yours? Does it change by inverse standings, or is it one of those where is it rolling where you use it and then you go to the bottom? Because that depends a lot on it. Oh, for sure. No, and don't worry about it right now. If you really want to risk it, again, I think you offer 1 at most 2 for Zeke. You cannot offer, a bulk of your team, especially with, some really good starters here. He's buy low right now. If Zeke was putting up 20 points a week, sure, maybe. But otherwise, it's for what his value is right now, and so many question marks with the quarterback and their O-line and just their offense in general. You can't be spending that much for Zeke. Okay, Rosie. So let's look again. So your receivers are Godwin, Lockett, Devontae, T. Higgins, Robbie. Your backs are Zeke, Leigh Bell, McKinnon, Gaskin, James Robinson, and okay, I remember that. Yeah. So thank you for posting that again. I don't think it's worth spending a top waiver wire. All of those guys are going to be probably on your bench. You have a super deep wide receiver lineup right now. And your running backs, none of those were like Hyde, Coleman, Hasty, all have question marks. I don't think anyone's I like your tight ends. I think you could upgrade, but keep that top waiver wire priority. See if you can pick up either Goddard or Trey Vernon after waivers clear. And you can pick at it afterwards, but you have a solid lineup right now, and none of those guys you need. My strict belief is that if you have waiver 1 priority, you want to do it on someone who's gonna be like an immediate starter, or you need that person to win this week, or starting running back went down like Dalvin Cook, and you want to use it on an Alexander Madison or something. For sure, yeah. Rickety, if you have the spot, hold Edmonds. He's going to be serviceable. We were talking about this a little bit before. I think he still has a lot of value even when Drake comes back. because they like to use him in a they like to use him a lot. So I think, yeah, definitely hold on to Edmonds when you have him. I think, that's great that you got him. Definitely hold. Is Jerry Judy a good start this week? Let me look at my ranking list and let me see who they have. I do not like Jerry Judy in general. If they're playing LA Chargers, I don't think so. He's only, the last 3 games, he's only gotten 2 receptions. I honestly think he's borderline droppable. If anything, on that Denver Broncos team, I like Tim Patrick a lot more. So honestly, if I were you and you're looking for maybe some good stashes, I would maybe drop him and pick up one of the guys that I mentioned in my waiver wire video this week. But I'm not a big fan of them. I think you can sell. Sell Mark Andrews if you can get a solid top tier RB2, or you can get an RB1. I don't know if anyone's going to take it for a tight end. But I don't think it's, yeah, exactly. If you have both Andrews and Fan, dangle Mark Andrews around and see if you get a top tier RB2 or RB1. All right, who do I like on the Jets? I like, so just upside wise, I like Denzel Mims. I don't know how to say the last name. I like Denzel Mims, Jamison Crowder when he gets back, and LaMichael Pirine. LaMichael Pirine's going to slowly take more and more touches away from Gore, as we've seen. And with the Jets playing from behind a lot, which I expect him to do for mostly the rest of the season, Darnold's going to have to throw a lot, and he's going to be targeting Crowder and Mims. It'll be interesting to see sort of the breakdown and the distribution once Mims and Crowder are both on the field, but I would say out of any one of the Jets, those 3 probably have the only fantasy values in my mind. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you're hurting for running backs, trading Mark Andrews for David Johnson is not a bad idea. I don't have Mark Andrews anywhere, but let me just look at his stats, because he's been good, I know, and he's one of the top tight ends, but I feel like he's been somewhat inconsistent. He had 3 games, it's 14, 19, 20, but he also had 3 games, 3, 3, 3. So, yeah, if you need help at running back, I would definitely trade him for David Johnson. Luke Luck Carner, welcome. Should I trade Lockett? Depends on the rest of your team and who we can get for him. Lockett right now is ultimate sell high, so I think you might be able to trade Lockett for maybe an RB1. If you're trading Lockett and Jacobs, I would expect someone back in maybe the top 5 of their position. Maybe like a Devontae Adams, Nuck, or someone like a Derrick Henry or CMC even maybe. But it's ultimate sell high right now. Maybe try and do a 1-for-1 if you're okay at wide receiver, because Lockett has a monster game. If anyone in your league is gonna bite, this is the best time to sell him. Rosie, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for the subscribe. Yeah, good night, good luck this week, and yeah, hope to see you at a future stream. How about Dobbins? No, I don't like Dobbins at all. There's just, in general, even if Mark Ingram is healthy, I don't love him. You just, Ravens is one of those backfields that you just don't want to trust and you don't want to deal with. He could be sneaky and maybe get you a random 2-yard touchdown, and you'd be like, man, this is a great start. But more than likely, he's going to have 2 or 3 carries at most. You have Lamar on that team with a lot of RPOs and him just going as a runner. But I don't like Dobbins. I told a lot of people in my leagues, actually, especially in the Family Friends League, that when Dobbins scored, I think 1 or 2 touchdowns in his first game, sell him high right away, because that's the only time you're ever going to get value from him. And ever since then, he's been droppable. I don't like Dobbins. I think you have a lot of other better options to start. Rickety, should I hold on to Tua to see how he plays? I don't want to drop in case. Yeah, for sure. Tua is one of those guys I've been saying in my videos to stash, because he's going to be the last guy that you're going to have that has a lot of potential and question marks for a really, really high ceiling. I don't think there's going to be another quarterback this season, so keep Tua and do that. It really depends. Carlos Hyde, if he's healthy. Otherwise, it sounds like if both Carlos, or if all of Carlos Hyde, Carson, and Travis Homer are out, you start DJ Dallas as a flex. Is Stafford droppable? I stream Bridgewater because of Stafford's. Yeah, I think I don't love Stafford. I never really loved Stafford as a consistent fantasy quarterback. So if I were you, I would probably hold on to Bridgewater and Tua I really like Tua's outlook. He only threw, 2 passes when he came in the last game, but he looks super sharp. So hold on to Tua because he might be a Justin Herbert type. I told everybody to grab Justin Herbert 3 weeks ago, and a lot of people missed the train on that. So I have high hopes for Tua. What are your thoughts on Juju and Claypool? I currently have both on my team and thinking about trading. Yeah, so it's tough. I wasn't expecting Claypool to be sort of not score pretty much anything last week with Deontay back. The problem is Deontay is going to get injured and he's not going to be consistent. So when Deontay's back, I would say Claypool is definitely a boom or bust. Not the best time to sell Claypool right now. Maybe wait till he has another good game and sell him. Otherwise, Juju, he's finally starting to he's starting to, I think he's going to trend upwards. But if you don't want to deal with the headache there, because there's a lot of receivers, Big Ben likes to spread the ball around a lot, and James Conner is going to get fed too. So maybe just wait till one of them has another really good game and try and sell them high. You definitely don't need both. Just honestly, unless you're attached to one, whoever has the next really good game, use that as a trade bait and try and get someone else in return. But yeah, Steelers, honestly, this year, it's tough. It's, man, I don't know. I wish there was one guy. Honestly, it seems like maybe when Deontay is healthy and he plays, maybe he's the one to go to, but it's hard for him to stay healthy. Tally, thank you, man. I appreciate you, always commenting and getting in here. So, yeah, have a good night. Good luck on waivers, and we'll talk soon. Yeah, hope to see you in the next stream. Dallas QB situation, yeah. So it's still Dalton's. It's still his team, unless he can't play for the concussion. I think he's worth a look at. The only thing that I liked about him, even though he had a pretty trash last year game, is that before he got injured, the first game that he started, he threw for 52 or 54 times. So I think the volume is going to be there, and he was targeting both Cooper and CD a lot. So I would say, keep an eye on him. I think that it makes the Dallas wide receivers a little bit more relevant, and maybe Zeke, but we'll monitor his concussion situation. All right, so Kellis, let's look at this again. So, okay, so, Luke, you don't drop him. You have to wait and see, or you try and sell him right now. He's still gonna get a lot of the balls, so I think he's gonna be a solid play because he's a great wide receiver. But you cannot drop a player like him. So Kellis, let's see. Play game. Trade to opponent: Andrews, AJ Brown, Kelsey, Boyd. So Kellis, what exactly? Okay, so you're trading Mark Andrews, AJ Brown. Oh wait. So sorry. Can you just? I think I'm getting a little confused with the format. Can you just post in the chat again who you're trading and what you're trading for? Logan Thomas, isn't Logan Thomas on bye this week? Or you're talking about week 9? Logan Thomas he could be solid for sure. He's gotten at least 4 receptions, I think, or at least 4 targets every game. So I think he's a decent stream. We'll have to look at the matchup, but I'm sure I'm gonna have some starts and sits for that as well. Hey, Kellis, don't worry about it. Just post the exact trade. Just in chat, and then we'll look at it together. Okay, so let's see. You're saying you want to trade Andrews and AJ Brown for Kelsey, Boyd, Claypool. Oh yeah, if you can pull that off, I would do that 100%. That's gonna boost your team a lot. You're gonna get a better tight end, a really decent 2 wide receivers, and a serviceable back. So I would definitely do that if I were you. Assuming you don't have to lose or drop too many other players on your team. Anthony, what's up? Gronk, Burton, I would say Gronk and Burton are my top two, then Fant. Between the two, Gronk is a little bit more consistent right now. With AB coming in, he could lose some targets. Burton I like, and I talk about him as my pickup of the year in my latest waiver wire video, so I don't think you go wrong with either. Maybe try and hold Gronk and Burton if you have the roster space and try and trade one of them. Rickety, which waiver wire wide receiver should I grab? I need safe, force, and reliable for the rest of the season. Okay, so I would say if you wanted to play it safe, I would go probably Shepard, Higgins, and Kirk. There's been some rumors of Thielen potentially getting traded to the Browns. I don't think it's going to happen, but that would decrease Higgins' value, and he also has to fight with Jarvis. Kirk still gets inconsistent targets, so I think he has a really high ceiling, but I wouldn't call him safe. Shepard, as long as he can stay healthy, he's going to be the #1 wide receiver for the Giants and get force-fed the ball a lot. Jack, how much of a threat is having Elliott and Carson on my team, and how high can I sell them right now? What rookies should I go for? I don't think you're going to be able to sell Ezekiel Elliott high unless you're selling it to a Cowboys fan. And honestly, Carson is tough. It's tough right now because he's injured, so we'll see how long it is. I would actually say you probably need some running backs right now. You're not going to be able to sell either right now, so I would maybe just sit and hold because Elliott is at an all-time low value and Carson's injured. You could try and sell Carson, but honestly, this might not be the best time for you to try and trade. Should I start Amari or Hollywood this week? Given the choice, unless DiNucci's starting at quarterback, I would say Amari for sure. Hollywood has not done anything this year to really have me trust him. So definitely, I would 100% say Amari pretty much every week. Don't worry about, yeah, Dobbins and Judy, drop those. Those are two really droppable guys. I don't like Dobbins at all. I don't like Judy at all. I think you're completely fine. Don't drop them and don't even look back. I know it sucks because we all like our players and we value them a lot, and we always think that, hey, maybe this is the week that they get big. But they if it's anyone else, that's not the name. If you picked up someone random and they have the same stats as either one of them, you're gonna pretty much immediately drop them. Judy might be good next year, but not this year. What's the most players you would start in one? It depends. I mean, so I don't know if I would start 2 wide receivers, but I mean, I've started quarterback, running back, and wide receiver. You don't worry too much. I mean, obviously the 2 wide receiver thing is kind of, kind of backtracks when I say, but don't worry too much about it because you're starting the players for their matchups. You're not starting because of who they are. Thinking about it, if you have, say, Adam Thielen going against a really bad team, and you also have Dalvin Cook, you're going to start both of them no matter what. You're not going to just start one of them because you think, oh, well, maybe the Vikings aren't going to score a lot and only one of them is going to get it, because even if you think like that, you don't know who's going to score. So unless it's wide receiver, start your guys, start your studs based on matchup. Yep, exactly. Jack Anderson, Hunter Henry, I think he's a solid floor. I don't love his upside as much. I think Herbert has been slinging the ball a lot, and he hasn't become that tight end one that we thought he would, even with Herbert having all these really good games. So I still think he has a solid floor, and he's going to be probably tight end one a few weeks here and there. But I'd much rather have a Gronkowski or a Trey Vernon or someone like that. That's my thought. All right, so I know we're sort of getting close to the 2-hour mark, and honestly, I'm getting tired of listening to myself and talking a lot. So let's see if there are any more last-minute questions, and otherwise, we'll probably end this stream in the next few minutes. I'll talk a little bit until we get more questions, but yeah. So for those of you that are new, or for those of you that have come back, I recognize definitely a lot of the viewers here. The plan is right now for video, we'll upload No problem. Yeah, Jack, you too. Hopefully that helps. And just trying to get my thoughts here. So hopefully I do point you in the right direction. But as we all know, fantasy is also like half luck. But otherwise, yeah. So just general channel announcement and news. So thank you so much, Jack. I really appreciate that. We can use all the subscribers as we can. But yeah, for weekly uploads, we'll do Tuesdays. Tuesday probably mornings for waiver wire pickups, and we'll do a stream at night. So similar to tonight, probably around 8 p.m. Pacific. If I really need to push it back, I might push it back to 9. But I definitely want to be, I want to be able to include our Central Time and East Coast folks. Thursdays we'll have a different format video for starts and sits, so expect that Thursday morning. It's really tough because the games start here at 5:20. So yeah, and that's something I thought about, so I'll actually get to that next. So Thursdays we'll probably do a short stream before the games start and talk a little bit. Fridays, Saturdays, depending on my schedule, we'll probably do like a late night talk. Sunday I was thinking about, but the issue is, again, the game starts at 10 a.m. my time because I'm on West Coast, so I would have to get up like at 7 or 8, which is fine, but I guess I don't know if, let me know if you think it's better, but I don't know if that's going to be much better than doing something like Friday or Saturday night, because I assume, people probably want to look at their lineups and talk about it. I don't know if Sunday morning last minute is going to help, but I definitely would be open to like a quick, maybe like 30 minute to 30 minute to like an hour stream right before Sunday games, just to talk last minute stuff. Oh, thank you. I don't think that's true, but I definitely, I try to do my own research, come up with my own analysis, and just give you guys the best information I can. So I appreciate it. What's up, you eat? Aaron Jones and Higgins for Kamara. I like that. You can do it. I think that's good, assuming you have some good wide receivers to back you up. I don't know if you're talking about T. Higgins or Shard Higgins, but I kind of value them pretty similarly. If you can get a running back like Kamara, you do it for sure. 100%. And let me know in the comments or chat, whatever, if you guys think of other sort of topics you want to look at. Let me know. When I did talk to a few people, we talked about wanting to do a video in the future with like maybe IR stashes who are currently free agents. So someone like an Antonio Brown, to get ahead of the curve. We want to do stuff like players to target in the playoffs, or maybe some sort of trade targets early in the week. So those are all things I'm thinking about. But definitely with working full time, it's hard to be able to squeeze in as much content as I would like to. So we'll definitely try and get as much as we can. Yeah, you definitely do that. I like Kamara. Like I said, if you can give up a non-elite player for a super elite player, you want to do it if you don't have to give up stuff. What type of Rickety, what kind of running backs or wide receivers do you think I can get by trading Andrews? I think it depends on how people value him. Tight ends are kind of limited, so I would consider him maybe like tier 2 after Travis Kelce and Kittle. But I think you can get a solid RB2, someone like Myles Gaskins, or maybe Josh Jacobs, but that's a stretch. Darrell Henderson. Let me see, who else do I like? Yeah, so probably at that level, like players who have, honestly, Myles Gaskins could be a solid trade target for you. I think he's a really good buy low target, and I think he's only gonna go up unless something disastrous happens in Miami and Tua just turns out to be a complete bust, which I don't think is gonna happen. Oh, gotcha, Irie. So Sunday after the games, yeah, that's definitely a good thought. I think it could be good for a casual talk just to go with the waivers. But I guess, do you think that's really going to be helpful if I come up with a Tuesday video on all of the waiver wires after all the games are done, especially Monday, and then still have one? Because I figured Sunday nights, if we did do a stream Sunday night, it'd be pretty casual, and it'd be very similar to what we talk about like tonight on a Tuesday, but with like less research done and less analysis on who's who. We'd really just be talking about like, oh hey, Mark Ingram had a really good game, or this random tight end from Minnesota had a really good game. Is that good or not? Yeah, Rickety, if you can get Melvin Gordon, actually, yeah, I think I might have mentioned him earlier. I think he's a good like mid-tier level RB2. I think that's good. Jimmy G, Mayfield, Carr. If we're talking about just this week, according to my rankings, I like Jimmy. So what is it? You said Jimmy G, Mayfield, or a Carr. So not Jimmy G. I don't really love him as a fantasy quarterback. I would go Derek Carr here. He scored almost 300 yards and plus 2 TDs against a tough Bucks defense. So I would be more inclined to say Carr with a very, the highest ceiling potentially, plus a very decent floor. I mean, if you can score like almost 20 points against the Bucks, yeah, I'm gonna use you and almost have you as a set and forget, because that's gonna be one of the tougher matchups. But yeah, for all of those, if you still need help tonight, feel free to, I am still gonna be on Reddit for a little bit. There's so much to catch up on, so hopefully I can get to everything. But yeah, I would say, yeah, just keep on giving me feedback. I appreciate you all being here, and this is really great. If there are any more content that you want to see, let me know. But I definitely want to focus on the core of the start and sits and waivers, because I know that's what most people want, and then we'll see if we can get off topic a little bit with some other interesting stuff. But yeah, Ricky, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope to see you in a future one. Yui, thank you so much, for coming. I hope that helps. Yeah, I think honestly, even Carr, maybe not as even a streamer, you might be able to keep him for the rest of the season. If you have that spot, keep him on the bench under Kyler in case anything happens to him, and you have 2 really good quarterbacks in case one gets injured. And if not, then you can trade him. Irie, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, enjoy. I forgot Hawaii. We talked about that. Enjoyed that. Callis, that's great. Thank you, Clinical. Top mod NA as always. Yeah, Callis, I think that's super solid for you. Good job. Gibson, I see him as a sell high candidate after this game. I think he's still gonna be a solid RB2. He could be good to go for, but I think with McKissick there too as a pass catching back, he's gonna aid into a little bit of his volume as well. But if it's someone that you have, try and trade him. But if you were talking about we want to talk about the tight end trade, that's actually not bad. But his value is going to be at the highest, so the owner might not take Mark Andrews for him right now. But yeah, anyways, I think I don't know how much more I can talk. My voice is getting a little raspy, but yeah, I appreciate you all. Thank you for coming. Next stream, I will post the exact time on my upload on Thursday. Kirk or Beasley? I like Kirk's upside a little bit more. Beasley for the safe floor, Anthony. Rest of the season, I don't know. It depends on, if you're using this as a starter. I like Kirk. He's fun to watch, and I hope his volume goes up a little bit. So I do like Kirk. If you can't hold both, they're solid starters every week. Beasley's going to give you that really solid floor. Potentially, 8-9 points up to maybe, with another touchdown, 15 to 18. But probably I see him as like a safe 9-point player every week for sure. But yeah, so next video will come out Thursday morning. Rickety, should I trade for Gurley or is he dead after this week? I think Gurley is fine. I mean, we think he's very not durable, but I think he's been fine. I don't think he has any... Yeah, no, he's going to be fine. And if anything, he'll use that extra rage that he has from messing up this week for future stuff. So, yeah, I think he's great. But yeah, so look for the next video. Thursday morning will come out. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I think that's how it works for that video. I will post in my comments and pin exactly what time I'll get on for a quick stream, but I'm thinking probably around an hour before the Thursday night football game, and maybe talk for about an hour to 2, an hour and a half. But yeah, look out for that. I appreciate you all. If you have any more questions, just either post it in this video or one of my latest videos. But definitely be sure to check out the waiver wire pickup for some nice gems. But yeah, thank you all again. Have a good night and go.